But she underestimated the amount of power she would need to cast a spell of this magnitude. She poured in everything she had. It still wasn't enough. And in a last-ditch effort to complete the barrier, she even gave up her voice. Yes, in hindsight, I could have seen that coming. Why do desperate people always give up their voices or memories? Never mind, I'm just talking to myself.
Oh, an intriguing solution. As long as I possess this magic sword, I can activate a barrier around my entire country that will prevent all lying? A land full of nothing but truth-tellers. It's perfect. But I have to say, this sword is really lame. It's so gaudy. I know it's necessary, but I hate that I have to hold on to something this tacky.
And so, that's how the Land of Truth-Tellers was born. Of course, since Ahemia could no longer use magic after gifting the king his new sword, she ultimately ended up getting kicked out of the palace.
I thought that lying in this country was impossible.
That's true.
Meaning that you'll let us enter?
Wow, I can't believe that works. You really are a genius, Miss Elena.
It's not a big deal. It was actually simple. We just had to write the sentences down in chunks. Since none of the parts contained any lies specifically, they could be written down. Then they just had to be read in the correct order. You could write practically anything at all, and the people here would believe it.
Just like they say, the pen is mightier than the sword.
We might find out soon enough.
Well, it's all up to you, Ahemia. Lead the way to the infamous throne room. Oh, cool. Huh? Hello there, creepy shadow man. Are you the king?
Indeed, I am.
Please let go of that sword, sire.
Do as she says.
Guards!
Oh boy, the intruders are 3 witches. Look, one of them's Ahemia. Hey, long time no see.
This is such a pain, and I'm tired.
The pretty flat-chested, gray-haired one's my favorite.
I think the boyish girl's my type.
Sorry, buddy. Unfortunately for you, my heart already belongs to another.
Please don't look at me when you say that. More importantly, I'm going to need your help with handling all of the guards. That way I can focus on getting the truth sword from the king.
You can count on Saya, the charcoal witch.
It's over. Drop the sword.
It's not over! This sword is my greatest achievement as a king, and with it I shall rule this land with verity! As long as I have it in my hand, I can lead the country in the right direction! I'll never let it go!
Sorry, Saya.
What a idiot. Thanks for the late warning! Prepare to die!
Tell me something, Truth King. Did getting rid of lies make this country better?
Of course! Isn't that obvious?
The people don't like what you've done to them.
Wait, what did you say?
Sure, the people in your country can't lie, but that doesn't mean evil people won't keep doing bad things. It's true that you became a country full of truth-tellers, but this spell of yours can't just magically make everybody in it a better person. Just because people lie doesn't mean they're inherently evil or bad. Sometimes you need to lie so you don't hurt someone's feelings or ruin a relationship that's important to you. Without those little white lies, people will grate on each other's nerves and it causes them to fight.
That's not true!
If the sword is truth, then lies are like scabbards. Sheath it, sire.
Saya?
I said sire. Can you just focus on the guards, please?
You're always so bossy.
Sticks and stones. So, if the sword represents truth and lies act as a scabbard, they keep us from swinging words around recklessly and hurting other people. We use lies to keep the truth inside.
How dare you! Don't lecture me, witch!
I hate to interrupt you, but there are too many guards and I'm running out of juice. If I keep going like this, my head might actually explode!
Well then, it appears that poor Saya has reached her limit. Let's end this fight, shall we?
What do you mean, end it? Seems like you've used everything you have just to hold back my attacks.
I'm afraid you're wrong on that front. I've been prepared to take that sword from you for a while now. You can see for yourself.
No! My tacky sword is gone!
Good job, Miss Elena! You broke the spell!
Is it true? Was I actually wrong this entire time?
No, Your Majesty.
Your voice came back.
I truly believe your desire for honesty arose from the best of intentions. I also believe that you would benefit from relaxing a little bit. The country won't fall apart if its people aren't always honest. You can still make it a great place to live, okay?
Fresh bread baked just this morning.
Come and see! I've got the tastiest fish in the whole city!
Hey, you know what? I think you're actually pretty decent, brother.
Aw, thanks. I don't even remember what we were fighting about.
The king recognized the error of his ways and apologized to the citizens of his country for making it so they could never tell a lie. I don't know if the country will ever be able to go back to how it was, but with Ahemia back at the palace, I'm sure it'll all work out. One way or another. We'll see.
Madam Witches! Thank you so much for your help! Please have a pleasant journey!
Yeah, so, according to the association's rules, I'm supposed to give you a present to thank you for your help.
Well, don't worry about it. Besides, if you do everything strictly by the book, you won't be able to improvise if you need to.
But I already got something for you. It's nothing that big, I swear. Ta-da!
It looks like a necklace.
'Cause it is. It's pretty, right? This thing cost me every coin I had, and I've been waiting and waiting to see you again so I could give it to you. It's strange, but the whole reason I had to take this job was because I ran out of money. But then that same job led me here, and I finally got to see you again, so it's like fate! I hope you'll treasure it forever and always think of me!
Okay. Thank you. It's a very thoughtful gift.
Here, let me put it on for you.
Oh, I can do it.
Nah, it's easier this way. Oh yeah, it looks amazing. And see? Now we're matching! Well, anyway, I should head back to the association branch office. Where will you go next?
Who knows? That's the joy of being a traveler.
Back home, hooking your pinky with someone else's symbolizes a promise. Will you make a pinky promise with me? Let's promise we'll meet again someday. And maybe I can even introduce you to my sister. And I'm going to be a much better witch by then. Promise me, Elena.
Yeah. I'll wait for that day while I continue on my travels. Pinky promise.
Now, this country was divided. There was a left side and a right side, and the two did not get along. So, they built a wall. They agreed that they would keep to themselves and have no dealings with each other. That way, the people of both sides would be happy.
Sometimes I wonder what the point of this thing is. Isn't the point of a wall fairly straightforward?
Well, yes, it was originally built to keep the two sides apart since they have no desire to interact, and it certainly does that. But think of all the opportunities we're missing with it here.
Oh.
We want to make sure we're still winning against the other side. But how are we supposed to prove to them that we're better than they are when this wall prevents them from seeing us? Have any ideas that might help with our predicament, Madam Witch?
Let me think. Do you happen to have a knife, sir?
Oh, yes, right here. And what are you planning to do with it exactly?
You'll see soon enough.
Are you carving words into it? This side of the country is great. By the Witch of the Travels. And what is the meaning of this message?
Well, this wall represents the rivalry between the left and the right. But you also want it to represent this side's superiority over the other, do you not?
Well...
My suggestion is, you encourage travelers who visit to carve words of praise into the wall. The more etchings on this side, the more it will prove that it's favored over the other.
I don't know. That's not really how we do things around here.
That's too bad. Because I've already seen the other side of the wall and it's covered in glowing remarks travelers have left in their wake.
After that, I knew I had to quickly find my way to the other side.
Oh, that's just too bad, because I've seen the other side of the wall and it's already covered in glowing remarks travelers have left in their wake.
So that I could give them identical instructions. And thus, a brand new custom for travelers was born. When they arrive in this country, they pay a visit to the wall and carve their own words of praise. But why did it matter if the travelers carved words on the wall or not?
Let me see. I suppose it was essentially a popularity contest.
Popularity contest?
It's a way of choosing the one that people like more. If one side had more etchings than the other one did, then they could say they had proof that travelers liked them better. Make sense?
Uh-huh. So who won? Which of the sides turned out to be more popular? And how many more nice words did they have than the other side did?
That's something you'll just have to go see with your own eyes, dear.
When I become a great traveling witch someday, I will.
Wow, this is amazing. This country is the best. I've never been to such a great country. We got engaged in this spot today. Best friends forever. Whoa.
Pardon me, miss. Would you happen to be the witch the United Magic Association sent over?
Yeah, I'm Saya the Charcoal Witch. It's a pleasure to meet you, good sir. I've heard a lot about this wall, but it's even more amazing in person. It's fascinating to see how many people enjoyed visiting this side of the country.
This is the subject of our request. It is our hope that you can do something different with it.
Do something different?
The wall's been like this more than 10 years, ever since a traveling witch suggested we have visitors leave messages. People seem to be losing interest in the old tradition, and we thought it might be time for something new.
A new tradition, huh? I don't know. This one seems pretty great to me. I mean, it's hard to imagine something that would be a bigger draw than the famous wall etched by travelers. Travelers? Ah! I've got it! Do you happen to have a knife I can borrow, please?
Sure.
Oh wow, this is actually a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. I love Miss Elena, I love Miss Elena, I love Miss Elena, Miss Elena, Miss Elena, Miss Elena, Miss Elena, Miss Elena.
Just what do you think you're doing? This wall was not built for you to declare your carnal desires.
Excuse you, what do you think you're doing? Besides interrupting very important work.
What is so important about name carving? This wall is a place for travelers to commemorate their experience in this country.
Oh, so that's the rule? Then that's the change you need to make.
What?
Starting today, it's not going to be just for travelers anymore. Locals can carve their sentiments too. That's right, they can carve their dreams or their crushes, and they can etch in things like, I love Miss Elena so much!
And what would be the reason for doing that?
Just think. The citizens are the ones who wanted it in the first place, right? Doesn't that mean they should be the ones who get to enjoy it the most? Instead of being a wall that's just meant for travelers, make it something that encourages those who live here to remember what's most important to them.
Interesting.
Thanks for this. I gotta run now, though.
Right.
It turns out I've got a job on the other side of the wall, too.
One might ask, why is it that my heart was swelling with anticipation on that day? The answer is, because I was about to visit the country that had words etched into its wall, just as I had read about in the Adventures of Nikke, the book that had meant so much to me throughout my life.
What happened to the wall? Would you like a souvenir or two from your trip today?
It's not just ordinary stone. It's debris from our famous wall.
No, debris from the wall is still just debris.
My, if it isn't a traveling witch.
It's been more than a decade.
Forgive me, gentlemen, but how do you know who I am?
Your face actually looks a bit younger than it did back then.
I'll say.
And that's not the only thing different about you.
I'll say.
I suppose you aren't her.
That's most unfortunate.
Well, for a moment I thought the two of you might actually be officials of this country. But perhaps I was wrong and you're just a couple of boorish old men.
We are indeed this country's officials.
And I guess we're also boorish old men.
In any case, maybe you can help me. See, I came to see the famous wall, but it appears to be in pieces now.
The two gentlemen then explained why the wall was now rubble. Apparently, another witch had visited this country a little before I did. At her advice, the citizens gained permission to carve anything they wished into the wall. At first, they were overjoyed with their new outlet. But as days passed, and then weeks...
Guess it wasn't forever after all, considering we broke up.
I wrote what? It's not even true. I was drunk. What the hell?
Travelers say what happens on the trip stays on the trip. Then they move on. But when the etchings are by and about the people who live there, their permanence may transform into painful memories that can't be escaped. And so, they agreed it was best to tear down the wall. Before they knew it, the resentment they felt toward the people on the other side didn't seem to exist anymore.
Everybody here was completely convinced they were better than those who resided on the other side of the wall.
But then they saw all of the embarrassing things they wrote themselves, and they realized that wasn't the case after all.
I guess it turns out this country never even needed a wall to begin with. We've got more in common than we knew.
I suspect we'll be quite content living peacefully in our ordinary country.
Now then, if you'll please excuse us, Madam Witch.
Before you go, would you mind telling me which side had more praises etched into it before the wall was torn down?
Isn't that obvious?
It was the same on both sides.
The same?
We were two halves of a single country.
And we all worked equally hard not to lose the silly competition we had with the other side.
But how could you compete with the other side if you had no way of seeing how much they were accomplishing and what you were up against?
That's how we convinced ourselves that we were better, by refusing to look on the other side of the wall.
Yes, that was true for our side as well.
I feel certain that it worked out for the best.
A country doesn't belong to tourists or travelers. It's a home for those who live there, and they should always take priority. I am disappointed that I couldn't see the wall, of course. I wonder if Nikke carved those words knowing that doing so would ultimately lead to the wall being torn down. No, there's no way.
Hello, Madam Witch. Would you like a piece of the wall as a souvenir?
I might as well. I wonder which of these I should pick. This one.
Nice choice. Thanks for visiting.